Hey guys, Jared James here. I wanted to come to you really quickly today. Just got back from another event, doing a couple more coming up here, but I've had a real chance lately to kind of talk to a lot of people and realtors in particular, and just kind of find out what's going on with them, where are they at, what are they finding. And I'm seeing a lot of realtors that are struggling, and not necessarily because they have to be. A lot of times it's just that we're not leveraging the things that are going on right now. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that, really understanding what's happening and how to leverage what's happening to make more money. It's the old, if you keep doing the same things and expecting different results, the definition of insanity, right? And so one of the things I do is we do this program called The Pulse, where I try to keep everybody's fingers on the pulse of what's happening, what's new, what's current, what's the latest trends, tips, news that's come out, technologies that have come out, but more importantly, how do we leverage these things? And so one of the things I follow is not just unemployment rates, which just went up to 9.1%, but I'm a big believer in following the underemployment rates, which is the number of people who are maybe employed now, but they used to be computer programmers, now they're working at Kmart. And that number just went up from 18.9% to 19.1%, which is amazing because from a real estate perspective, that's probably not the best thing, because if people can hardly get by or not pay their bills, they're not buying houses. You also look at stats like half of the banking industry has now come out and said that they're going to actually tighten their standards even more when it comes to mortgages, which is probably not the best thing for our industry either. Then you look at other things. Some stats came out recently and they said that 35% of contracts, houses being put under contract right now, are being affected by appraisals. And that's staggering. 35% are being affected by appraisals. And so the point of this kind of video blog, or this vlog if you will, is not to depress you, but really talk about where are the opportunities. Another stat just came out just recently, and it showed that for the fifth consecutive month, 30% of the overall housing that's been purchased has been cash buyers. Okay, and so who are these cash buyers? Many times they're what I call quality investors. Many times it's not even cash. A lot of times they're using hard money and they have lines of credit. And hard money, we usually think of like a mob, like they're going to break their toe or break their hand if they don't pay back. But hard money is just private investors, those kind of people that have no problem lending on places that conventional lending won't do. They actually like roof problems. They like to find undervalued properties. And that's why a lot of times when you go and you put an offer in on an REO and there's 8 offers over yours all for cash, you're like, what the heck is going on here? Who has all this cash? Well, in 90% of the cases, it's not cash. Many times it's just hard money. It's lines of credit through these hard lenders or private investors or something like that, private banks, whatever it may be. And so the truth is, like I said, fifth straight month, 30% of the market was bought by cash. Last year at this same time, it was 25%. 2 years ago at this time, it was 12%. And so we see a trend coming. We covered on our last Pulse call, we covered months of shadow inventory that was yet to come. Shadow inventory being properties that the banks have that they have yet to release on the market. And when you look at those stats, it's staggering, absolutely staggering. When you look at the percent of properties right now that are distressed sales, how much they make up of the overall market, it's staggering. So where are the opportunities? If I were you, even when I was a full-time realtor myself, I was out there networking with these quality investors. Not Uncle Guido who says, hey, if you find a good deal, let me know. Those people always crack me up. They can barely make the car payment. Now they're going to start investing in properties. Okay, though that's a waste of time. That's not an investor, and they give investors bad names. But I'd be going to my local RIAs, my REIAs, Real Estate Investors Associations. I'd be plugging things into Google like ugly houses in my area. I'd find out who are the top investors. I'd find out who are the hard money lenders in my area and who are their best clients. Because these people want to buy properties. Their biggest problem is that they need to find them. And you have access to find those properties through your MLS, through REO searches, through keyword searches like addendums, as is, bank owned, these kinds of things, but you've got to put in the work. There's another thing that came out recently which I love, because I ask realtors all the time, are you a facilitator or are you an educator? And really our job is to educate our market, educate our buyers, educate that kind of thing. And it was amazing because recently the Housing Affordability Index came out, and it showed that housing right now is at its most affordable point in the history of the Housing Affordability Index since it started in 1971. And so that's something that if you're just learning about this for the first time, you should know this, and your people should know this. Because if you have people on the fence, you have people who aren't sure, and we're in an industry where we're so taught to spin things. It's like, well, the market's down, the market's up. Well, it's okay. The market's cyclical, and you don't buy a property for a year to 2 years anyway. It's for the long term, and there's never been a 10-year period of the market where it hasn't gone up. And we know how to answer these kinds of questions, and yet we have real data in front of us right now that the Housing Affordability Index, which is a mixture of median home prices and mortgage rates and all these kinds of things, is at its best rate for buyers in the history of the index. People need to know that so that you can push them over the fence, and you're actually helping them to make an extremely educated decision. The Fed came out the other day and they said that they're expecting now to keep they're expecting the market to pick up second half of this year because they're going to keep mortgage rates low. People need to know this kind of stuff. So today's a little bit of a different video blog. I'm not really giving you the motivation or whatever. I'm just giving you guys a couple of tools and tips to understand what's happening now. Understand that there are real opportunities out there, but like any business, your ultimate goal is to sell houses, but you change the way that you do it. You've got to change with the market. And so you might be selling houses to investors, you might be sending them to first-time home buyers, which are over 50% of the market. But if you grew up in an era where it was all people buying up, it was all people whatever, you just got to adjust your strategy. All right, so guys, look forward to connecting. Make sure we're connected on Facebook, Twitter, those kinds of things. I'm doing a lot of the state conventions coming up this year, so if you guys are on the list, please come up and say hello. I don't just say that. I really love to kind of get to know everybody and chat with people. And for any of you that are Facebook friends, you know that's true because I'm constantly talking with you guys and tweeting back and forth. So, best of luck to you guys. Hopefully, we'll see you guys real soon, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.